Happy Monday. This is a reading lesson. Today we are reviewing the long vowel sounds of the letters A, I, and O. We're also going to be reviewing the words play and to. Now for this lesson, you will just need page 286 in your phonics books, phonics pages, excuse me. And it is Unit 10, Week 3. Again, it is page 286. You will need your pencil and eraser also. That's the only page you will need for this lesson. So you may get it out now and I'll wait. Thank you. Now we'll go on to the next slide. On this slide, we're going to be viewing words that have the long vowel A, I, and O in them. Let's look at the left-hand side next to number 1. We see letters in black. We see L-A-K-E. Now we're going to sound out that word, but first before we start sounding it out, I noticed that it has an A in the middle, but also has an E at the end. So we need to cross out the E, and the E will be quiet when we sound it out. The E gives magic powers to the A, and remember the A says its name, which is A. That's the long vowel sound that the A makes when it says its name, A. So when we sound out this word, it will go A. Let's sound it out with L. Ache, lake, lake. And if you look next to it, you see the word lake in red. Each letter is close together. That's how you will see it in a book or story you read or when you write it. Now let's look to the sentence that is next to that. Sentence number 1. It is a small sentence. We know most of the words in that sentence, but the last word we may not know. So let's point to each word as we read it. You ready? Let's begin. The lake, that's the same word, is. Now the last word some of you already have figured out. For the rest of you, let's sound it out. Put your fists together. B goes B, I goes I, G goes G. Big, big. The word is big. Now let's go back to the beginning of the sentence and read it, please. The lake is big. First of all, does that make sense? It does. Does it begin with a capital letter? It does. Did I leave spaces between each word? I did. And it ended with a period. So it's a telling sentence. I told you something. Now, let's go to number 2, to the black letters that are next to number 2. And we see the letters B, I, K, E. This one has an I in the middle of it and an E at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross out the E. The E is going to give its magic powers to the I. So the E is going to be quiet and does not say anything when I sound out the word. Okay, and let's begin with a B. You ready? Ba-ike. Let's try it again. Ba-ike. Now let's blend the words together. Bike. Bike. It's the word bike, and you're right. If you look next to it, you see the word bike in red letters. The letters are close to each other. That's how it will be seen in a book that you read or if you write a story using the word bike. Now let's look at this sentence that has the word bike in it. Okay, now it looks like we know most of those words. There are two words we may not know, so we'll have to sound them out. And the word bike is in red, just like the word lake was in red in the sentence before it, because we have practiced the word bike before. So let's point to the word I, and let's point as we read. You ready? Let's begin. Whoops, I'm sorry. I can. Uh-oh, that word we've used before. And guess what? It has an I in the middle of it again, but it has an E at the end. So we cross out the E. The E gives its magic powers to the I. So the I will say its name. It will go I. So let's sound it out. I'd ride. Now let's go back to the beginning and read each um, word in the sentence. Point to I. Let's begin. I can ride my. There's that word bike again that we saw before that. And the last word we've seen before, but we'll probably have to sound it out again. Okay? It's Home, but I see an E at the end. So I'm going to cross it out. And I'm going to give the magic powers from the E to the O. So the E will be quiet, but the O will set its name. You ready? Let's try that. Home. So let's go back and read from the beginning of the sentence. You ready? It goes, I can read my bike. Excuse me, I misread it. So I'm going to go back again. Sometimes when you read it and you find you did a mistake, you need to go back and read it. Let's begin with I. Point to your screen as we're reading. I can ride my bike home. Does that make sense? Sure does. I started the sentence with a capital I. I left spaces between each word, and I ended my sentence with a period. That means it's a telling sentence. I'm telling you something. I'm saying, I can ride my bike home. Very good. Now let's look at the words, the letters in black that are next to number 3 on the left-hand side. I see a B, O, N, E. And I see that it has an O in the middle, but also has an E at the end. So I cross out the E, and the E gives magic powers to the O. So the O will say its own name and go O. Now let's sound it out. At the beginning we see a B. So it goes ba-on. Let's try again. Ba-on. Now let's put them together, but make each sound last longer. Bone. Bone. It's the word bone. If you look next to it, you see the word bone in red. Each letter is next to the other. That's how you will see it in books or in writing. Now let's go to sentence number 3, which has the word bone in it. And again, it's in red. There are a few words there that we might have to sound out. Some of you know those words without sounding out, but we will sound them out for those who might need help. Let's point to the word the. Everyone there? Okay, let's begin. Let's go the. The next word I bet most of you know, but we'll sound it out anyway. That's a D at the beginning. D goes da. Let's try. Da-og. Remember the G usually goes ga? Sometimes it goes ja, but usually goes ga. Let's try it again. Da-og. Now let's say it again, making each sound last longer. Dog. Dog. The word is dog. So let's go back to the beginning and read. The dog has. Oh, last and next word. You probably can figure it out, but we're going to sound it out for those people who don't quite remember. Ready? H. Ha is his. His. Now let's go back and read the entire sentence. The dog has his bone. And that's the word we saw earlier that we practiced. And it's in red again, remember? Because we already practiced that word. Now let's go back and read the entire sentence once more, starting with the word the. Let's begin. The dog has his bone. Good job. Okay, excellent. Now you should have your phonics page up for this one. We are in Unit 10, Week 3. Please get a pencil and eraser out. You do not need crayons now. And above this, the picture of the bike and the person peeking underneath the table and the dog, you will see a line and the word name next to it. Please write your name on the top of that page. I will wait. Please write your first and last name. If your last name doesn't fit on the top line, you can write it underneath the top line in pencil. When you are ready, let's just patiently wait for our friends, please. Okay, you ready? Now, we're going to say the names of each picture, and we're looking for pictures that have an A sound and make an A in it, an O, and go O in the middle of it, or I. Let's look at the first picture that I just underlined. That's a bike. Say bike. Bike. Think, what sound did you hear in the middle? Bike. Say it again. Bike. Did you hear an I? Yes, and that's one of the sounds we're listening for. So circle the word bike because it had the long I sound in it. I. We're looking for words that have a long I sound, an A sound, or an O sound. Now, let's look at the next picture. That person has hiding. So let's say the word hide. Hide. One more time. Hide. What sound did you hear in the middle of that word? Yep, you heard an I. And that's one of the sounds we're looking for. We're looking for an A, I, or O. So circle, please. So far, you should have circled the bike and the picture of the person hiding underneath the table. Very good job. Now let's look at the next picture. We have to think, what is that a picture of? It's a picture of a dog. Say dog. Dog. What sound did you hear in the middle? You heard an ah, but that's not one of the sounds we're looking for. That's a short O sound, and we're looking for the long O sound that goes O, or the long A sound that goes A, or the long I sound that goes I. So we leave it alone. Do not circle it. Now let's go to the next row and going to put my line underneath the picture we're looking at. That's a game. Can you say it? Game. Say it one more time. Game. Do you hear an A, E, A, I, or O sound in it? Yes, you heard the A because it went game. So circle it. Good job. Now, let's look at the next picture. We see a picture of a gate. Let's say it. Gate. Did you hear an A sound in the middle of it? Or an E? Excuse me. A, I, or O, not an E. An A, I, or O. Let's say it one more time. Gate. Yes, I heard the A sound. So circle. That's a long A vowel sound we heard. Long vowel sound of the A. So far, you should have circled the bike, the hide, because of boy or girl's hiding, game, and a gate. Now let's look at the next picture. That is a kite. Let's say it. Kite. Let's try again. Kite. What sound did you hear in the middle? Did you hear an A? No, didn't go Kate, did you? How about an O? Coat. No, it's not a coat. How about an I? Kite. Yes, we did. So let's circle it. Circle the kite, please. So far, you've circled the bike, the boy or the girl hiding underneath the table, the game, the gate, and the kite. Now look, let's look at the last row and we see an umbrella. That's it, umbrella. That's it, umbrella. Did you hear any A sounds? No. What's it, A? How about I? What's it, I? Umbrella? No. And how about an O? Umbrella? Nope. So we leave it alone. We heard a and that's a short vowel sound for the U. Not, it didn't say it didn't say A, I, or O. So we'll leave it alone. Next, let's look at that. That is a kind of coin, and the coin is a dime. Can you say it? Dime. Can you say it again? Dime. Did you hear an I in the middle of it? Yes, you did. I. So let's circle it. Good job. Now let's look at the last picture, and that is a cake. Let's say it. Cake. Let's say again. Cake. Did you hear an A sound in it? Yes, it said A. So let's circle it. So I want you to double check and make sure you have circled on your paper the bike, the girl or boy hiding underneath the table, the game, the gate, the kite, the dime, and the cake. So we have circled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pictures. Please make sure you have circled those on your page, and I will wait. And then we have one more page for this lesson. Again, make sure you've circled the bike, the person hiding, the game, the gate, the kite, the dime, and the cake. I meant kite before. I think I said cake 2 times. Okay. Hi, on this slide, we're reviewing the words play and who. If you look on the left-hand side of this page, you will see the big word card with the word play on it. We're going to point to each letter as we say the name of the letter, then we're going to say the word. Let's begin. P-L-A-Y, play. Let's try it one more time. P-L-A-Y, play. Now remember when we sound out this word, we hear the P, P, we heard the L, and the A has its name, but the Y is quiet at the end. Now sometimes, remember in some words we have a quiet letter? Well, that's what happens in the word play. So when you write it, you have to remember it has a Y at the end. That's the tricky part because you hear the P, And you hear the L, you hear the A, it says its name, but it has a Y at the end. Not an E, but a Y, but the Y is quiet. If you look underneath that word play, you see a picture of a boy and a girl who like to play soccer. I use the word play in my sentence. Now, if you look also on top of that picture card, you see the words play in smaller letters. Point to those letters as we again say the names of each letter and say the word. Let's begin. P-L-A-Y, play. Let's try it again. P-L-A-Y, play. Now let's go to the next picture. And on that picture, you see another word card on the top with different letters. Now this time we're going to point to each letter. We're going to say the name of the letter and then we're going to say the word. Now this is a harder word. This is the word who, because you do not hear every letter in this word also. You don't hear the W really, do you? Who sounds like it should begin with an H, but begins with a W. So let's point to each letter one time. Then let's say the name of the word just one time. I mean, no, twice. I'm sorry. Let's do it twice. Ready? W-H-O, who. Let's say it again. W-H-O, who. Very good job. Now, let's point these to the word. No, before we point to the word, the small word, let's look at the picture underneath. I wonder who is painting. I used the word who in my sentence, didn't I? Actually, I wasn't asking. Nope. I wonder who is painting. Let me say something else. Who is painting? I'm asking a question now. Who is painting? Looks like the boy and the girl are painting. Now, let's look at the small word who. Point to that word and we're going to say each letter one time and then say the word one time. You ready? Let's go. W-H-O, who. Now, that's the end of this lesson. I will see you again on Tuesday. Bye.